Notts County Talk, we are live with hopefully not the last Pavis perspective of the season, but it is the playoff Pavis perspective. It's episode 44. We've done one every week without fail. Not always on a Thursday with George. Let's hope it's not the last.
No, let's hope it's not the last. You're right, absolutely. Plenty thinking it will be, plenty thinking it won't be. So we'll see. We'll see.
Very, very mixed feelings, isn't it? Very mixed feelings. To start us off, we've got the poll today. George, what's the poll for this one? And it's one I'm really interested to see people's thoughts of.
How would you rate the league season out of 10? So you've got 6, less than 5 out of 10, 6 or 7 out of 10, 8 or 9 out of 10, or 10 out of 10. I've seen a few already that I don't agree with, but here we are.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll tell you guys at the end as usual. Evening, Ian. Thank you for joining us again. I think you've been on pretty much every episode. Callum, same for you. We'll have a bit of a talk about something to do in a second. Callum, Neil, Chris, just evening to everyone that's joining us. If you can't tell, we're pumped up for Monday. We can't wait. I wish it was at the weekend. I wish it was a Saturday game, but, under the lights at Meadow Lane, it's going to be, will it be under the lights? Weather's looking good now. It's nice and bright, but there you go. So, quick plug. Earlier this week, we did our first special video. It was with Adam Chickson. Comfortably, I don't know about you, George, comfortably the best interview I've ever been part of.
Yeah, without a doubt. Very inspiring. Literally left the interview feeling inspired and wanting to do better. So fair play to Adam, because not many people have done that to me before.
No, unbelievable. And that completes the trio for this season with obviously Dale Kelly-Evans right back at the start, Ruben at Christmas, and Chickson. And I'll be honest, I felt a lot more confident about the playoffs after speaking to Chickson and the way the side have rallied around him. I honestly, it was inspiring. From him talking about marking Riyad Mahrez, which was just so interesting to listen to. He thought he had Mahrez in his back pocket, and then next thing you know, he's turned him 3 or 4 times. All the way to him talking about how the team have helped him with his father down this season, and then also just talking honestly, which it was amazing.
His favorite food.
Yeah,
if you want to know his favorite food, is watch it.
And his reaction to Callum, always doing Chickson hat trick. Massive thank you for the donation. We don't expect it, but massively appreciate it. Thank you so much. Helps us do things like helps us go to away games, do giveaways for you guys. So I appreciate that. And we'll get onto the video. But if you do want to watch the Adam Chickson video, it is in the description below. So if you fancy watching that before the playoffs, doesn't have to be now because we want you to watch us now. But before the playoffs, massively inspiring interview. So good. And a really great guy as well. Aaron Grimsby fan here, enjoy the channel. Unfortunately, can't get a ticket, which I think 2,000 tickets is an insult. May the best team win on Monday night. We will talk about tickets a little bit later, but let's go right back. Let's go to Maidenhead, an away day that someone said they saw us there. We didn't like. We're enjoying ourselves. On reflection, I enjoyed that away day. On reflection, in the end. What about you?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I think the travel there was a bit of a pain on it. Like getting the train. Like the cabin we were supposed to be in was closed. Half the train was closed off, so it was all cramped into it like a train on me. It was pretty hectic getting there, and we got rained on for the whole game. But we got the result. Every away day is a good away day, I think. I mean, even some of the worst away days we've done this season in terms of result have been the funniest. So it's not always about the football; it can be about the people you're with and the laughs you have.
Yeah, definitely. But we should have been out of sight first half. We'll talk about that performance then. So obviously, I've just said we should have been out of sight. What I was quite impressed with the performance, if I'm honest, and I said it on our vlog. I can see exactly why Halifax lost there and exactly why Chesterfield lost there. I can see it. It looks an awful result for me. It looks a shocking result until you visit that ground.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on a slope. There was literally the goal line was like this and then just went up and down again. They were hard to play against. They were physical. They were straight in at knots all the time. So for me, that's a massive, massive positive that we went there, got a victory, kept a clean sheet. And I think keeping a clean sheet was a big part with Slocum. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been class, hasn't he, since he's come in. Good few clean sheets in there as well. So what better compliment for a keeper to have?
Exactly. Cameron back as well. Yeah. How do you think he looked?
It looks all right. I wouldn't say I had loads to do, but just have your captain back in the squad is always going to be a good thing, isn't it, mentally?
Yeah, definitely. And Chris has said it was a good pre-Grimsby test. Yeah. I'd much rather have had, I don't know about you, I'd much rather have had that fixture than Dover at home as the last game or
Yeah,
Kingston
absolutely.
at home, how it
Yeah.
went. So, yeah, I think that's really good. One thing I did pick up on, we missed a fair few gilt-edged chances. Again.
Yeah, we did. Cowell's being, you back him every day to score that, don't you? The one in the first half. That's just one of them. We had, I'd say, 3 or 4 really good chances, but I just feel like we've been like that a lot this season. We've just got to hope we sort of step it up a little bit in the playoffs where it really does count, and the players can deal with that sort of big game pressure.
Yeah, I agree. George, any comments on this? Ian saying your costume was great.
Cheers, Ian. No, do you know what it was? I kind of bottled it. I didn't bottle it. I just thought I've got to go on the train to London, then get the tube for an hour, and I'd literally be with Tom, who's not in fancy dress, looking like a melon. So I thought I'd leave it. I think it was Chris last week said be like only fools and horses when the car breaks down, Batman and Robin type stuff. But that's just I'd be on my own. I wouldn't have anyone with me.
Yeah, Josh says anyone think Cal could have had a hat trick? Yeah, we just said I think he should have had a hat trick, but he scored the penalty. He scored a good few penalties now. Always looks calm and assured. So I think getting that win was interesting. On that same day, then George, we'll talk about it. Stockport promoted, Wrexham in the playoffs, and what a way for them to end the season. 3-0 defeat at Dagenham. What did I say to you on that train down there about that Wrexham game?
I can't remember.
You weren't listening?
I probably was, but it was a good few days ago.
It's because you're bursting for the toilet halfway on the train.
I think halfway is probably giving it not enough credit. I was literally about 20 minutes into the journey and I was like, I'm bursting here. But it was really packed on that train. I couldn't brush past everyone.
But I remember I said to you, there's not a chance today Dagenham beat Wrexham.
All right, yeah.
And I said that to them. I said to you, there's no chance Dagenham beat Wrexham, and they go and do it 3-0. Now we're not going to talk about a potential not to be Wrexham fixture because I've seen that a lot on Twitter. Do you like to think ahead, or?
Normally I do, but I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson from previous seasons because last season, I remember the lead up to the playoffs, I was looking at hotels in Bristol for the final, and I learned the hard way.
There's no point looking at hotels for London, even if we were to get a Jubilee weekend.
Yeah,
ridiculous prices.
Tent.
Got a sleeping bag in a tent. Ridiculous prices. I've now seen there's for whoever gets there. I'm not saying it'll be not. Whoever gets there, tube strikes, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
But what a weekend, and well done, National League. If anyone from the National League is watching this, which is unlikely, well done. You've done it again. Absolutely brilliant. Could have had the game at Old Trafford. Could have had it at Villa Park, wherever. But you've put it at the London Stadium where we can't even see the pitch. So, hoping I'll be there not seeing the pitch, but we've got to get through 2 very tough games first. Someone mentioned it right at the start. The ticket situation. Have you got your ticket?
Yes.
Did you get my ticket?
Got your ticket?
Love that. What do you think then? It's been non-stop on Twitter, hasn't it? Social media with the Grimsby fans.
Yeah. I think if we're going to be honest about it, you look at the history of it, and there has been problems in the past, and that's been fairly public, things like that, with Grimsby fans. So you can sort of see why they've done it. I mean, I said it in the previous video. I think we should sell as many as we can. But somebody on Twitter broke down why we're only selling 2,000. I don't know if you've seen it, but the full capacity is over 5,000 for the Cyril, for the away fans. But they can only really sell, I think it's like 3,000 and something. Because they have to open the back of the ground because the concourse is too small for new health and safety measures and stuff like that. It's quite an interesting read. I can't remember who it was now. But yeah, all these things come into consideration. And I know our ground is bigger and we could definitely we probably could have more at a push. Who knows? But I looked up the table in the playoffs, and I'm thinking, would anyone else be able to even allocate more than 2,000 other than Notts?
I don't know.
Wrexham won't, because they're not going to do that. Chesterfield won't. Solihull definitely can't. Halifax, I don't think Halifax can. And obviously Grimsby's away ends 1,700 or 800, isn't it? I think so. It's the biggest allocation in the playoffs. I can see why they're frustrated. Like, there's definitely going to be frustration there. I think we'd all be frustrated, wouldn't we, if we couldn't get tickets? But I don't know. That's just the way it is.
I mean, it's going to be a reality for it. Whichever side get through. The reality is going to be the same at Wrexham, like you've said.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do get why they're frustrated. So you're telling me on the breakdown of why we can't sell tickets, we're still allowed more than 2,000. Is that what you're saying, or is it capped at 2,000 for a reason? Because I heard there was something.
Yeah. So the reason it's capped at more than 2,000, but the reason is because of issues before with certain fans and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like safety concerns.
Fair enough. I'm with this comment here. And I know we had not an argument, we had a discussion about it last week. Why throw away the home advantage? Look, let's be honest. When Grimsby scored that winner, it was loud. You know, at Meadow Lane, last minute. Of course, it's going to be loud. It's a last minute winner, but that's in the league. They're going to be well behind their team. It's an elimination.
Yeah,
I agree. I know what you're going to say, and I know a lot of people are in my corner, and I know a lot of people are in your corner. I think 2,000 is a good meet in the middle point. I think it will create a good atmosphere, but I don't think it's too many to necessarily nullify the Notts fans either.
Yeah, definitely. I think what you've got to take into account as well. I've just seen a picture of the seats that are left, and it's sort of like the seats at the edge of each stands and stuff like that. There's only like a couple of ones in the middle of the stands and stuff like that. So we're going to have double what we'd normally have in the home ends. So we're going to be louder anyway, and they're pretty much going to have what they bought in the league. So I think we sort of still have the advantage.
There's murmurs, isn't there, of Grimsby fans trying to get home end tickets. Do you think that's happening? Do you think it's a bit of winding us up? I saw someone post a picture a few days ago of the east corner of the home stand.
Yeah, block A and B.
The family stand. And there's tickets left. What do you think what do you think is going on there? Do you think the club will have stopped it?
Yeah, they have, haven't they? I think they've stopped people making new accounts, so it's made it difficult. But I think you're never going to be able to, if they're going to try and do it, I don't think they're not going to be able to 100% stop it from happening.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not very good, is it? Just it's on telly as well, you know. Maybe go to like I don't want to sound condescending by saying this, like just come together in your local community and go to somewhere where they're showing it or something like that, instead of, especially the family stand, because it's where all the kids are and stuff, and with their families trying to enjoy the game, not be surrounded by away fans. It could be a bit hostile as well, you know.
Yeah. Also, we spoke about this. Do you think we'll break that record again? Attendance? I don't think we'll break it again.
I do.
Do you reckon? Even with tickets as they are, £20 usual price.
Yeah. I think we will.
Yeah. How much do you want on that? £5? First drink before the game?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I'll get you. Yeah.
Before the game, how are we going to know?
I'll get you a water. Exactly. How are we going to know?
How are we going to know if it's before the game?
I don't fancy losing. I personally don't think. I think we'll get about. Well, let us know what you think in the comments. I think we'll get around 11,500, 12,000. Will it count as a record if it's a playoff game? Good question, Chris. I don't think the record is like as in a league game. I think it's just a record National League attendance, and obviously National League is the name of the league, isn't it? It's the National League. It doesn't mean the league. Callum just looks at the ticket availability and only really the corners left, so already looking promising. And Charlie, on general sale, 1,500 were bought in an hour. I fully agree with you, George. I think we're going to break it.
That's funny.
No, to be fair, the more I think about it, when we did broke the Solihull one, they had nowhere near 2,000. So, I don't know. Chris says, surely the final break records then. Yeah, but that's a neutral venue, isn't it? So I don't know who would. No one would. That would be no one's to win, wouldn't it? So yeah, Mark says 14,500. I mean, the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. I think one positive of it being a night game is I think atmospheres are better in night games, especially in one-off games like this. You've seen the playoffs going on at the minute in Championship, League One, League Two. Some really good atmospheres there. And that brings me to a question. I think it's too far back for me to find now, but someone mentioned, please don't do a pitch invasion. Here we go.
Chris, I was just seeing that.
We promise not to do a pitch invasion if we win. If you win an eliminator game, please don't go on the pitch. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think. I don't think it's a good idea. And there's a lot of things as well. Like, I mean, look at Forest. Things that happen when pitch invasions do happen. Something happened there, and something happened at Mansfield last night. Something to do with players being attacked. It's just no need because it just causes. I'm sure there was, yeah. Or something happened. I can't remember. I read it now earlier this morning, but it just causes problems. So just don't do it.
Yeah, I agree. Just not for a playoff eliminator. You just look silly, don't you? Even for a semi-final, I don't think so. And a final. If you're trying to pitch invade at London Stadium, it'll take you a week to get to the pitch. So, yeah, let's not bother. You'll run a half marathon before you get there.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jordan's joined us. Lovely lad. Lovely lad. Not even saying can't invade for win a playoff quarter final. Completely agree, Jordan. Lovely lad, Jordan. Jordan hasn't been on the channel for a good few weeks, but he'll be back. He will be back, won't he? Really appreciate you joining us. As I've already said, we've got the poll today. George has already read that out for you. Please vote in that. We'll give you our thoughts at the end. On a pure enjoyment level, not success level, pure enjoyment. How much have you enjoyed this season? Less than 5, 6 or 7 out of 10, 8 or 9 out of 10, or has it been a 10 out of 10 season for you? And you know what? Like you said earlier, George, people that have been going to every away match, it might well be 10 out of 10 for enjoyment for them. They might well have just loved visiting and going to every single game. Because
unless they went to Torquay.
No, but you can still enjoy Torquay. We went to Stockport.
Yeah, Torquay's a nice place.
Yeah, we watched Richardson. I'm not saying Stockport's not a nice place. We watched Richardson miss 2 open goals and then apparently players vomiting at half time, and it was fantastic on the way there and back, wasn't it? So
yeah,
guess the year. What a game! If you've got Spotify or any other streaming platform, play Guess the Year in the car. What a game! Unbelievable. Causes a bit of tension though, doesn't it?
It does, unfortunately.
Right, that's enough about tickets. Let's look at the opponents. Grimsby. We scored a last-minute winner at their place.
Easy pickings.
They scored a last-minute winner at our place. I know you're trying to wind people up here, easy pickings, but how do you feel? How do you feel now it's getting closer?
No, I've got to be brutally honest. I'm not confident.
Are you not?
No, I'm really not. And I'm never like this. Like, I'm normally quite confident and an upbeat about Knots, but I don't know. I'm really, really nervous about this one.
I know you're confident for the Barnet game a couple of years ago. I know you're very confident for the Harrogate game. I know you're confident for Chesterfield, which we ended up winning. And I know you thought we were going to sweep Torquay as well. I feel like first year was like, I don't know, I sort of felt if we didn't win it first year, we'll go up second year.
Yeah.
And then we've lost again. And I think to myself, 3 years of this, I'm nervous for this already. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. So
I think there's a lot riding on it as well this time around. We've got a lot of players that I think if we don't get promotion, we could be seeing the back of. Potentially the manager as well, Who
are you thinking players-wise?
Well, I think Wharton's, in my opinion, Wharton.
Have you seen today? It's come out Stockport on him.
Yeah, but I mean, bit of a sideward step if you ask me.
Me too, though.
Yeah, definitely. But I think you're part of a project here. You're sort of the main man in it, Knots. I mean, you could step into the Stockport team and be main man, but I don't know.
What a Manu?
Yeah, that'd be a mad one.
Could be right.
Yeah, obviously Birchnell, he's bang on favourite still, isn't he, for the Forest Green Rovers job?
Yeah.
Potentially could see the back of Ruben, but I'd lean towards maybe him staying. Potentially Cal Roberts. I think Brinley's up, isn't he, at the end of the season, his contract. Players like that I think we sort of need at the club to have that solid foundation. I think we could potentially be seeing the back of.
Yeah, it's pivotal, isn't it, this season?
Yes.
This season's absolutely massive. I completely agree with you. I think I also think if there is a big turnover, I think it's hard to go from a big turnover in the summer to then challenge again for promotion straight away. So Chris says, feel so nervous about Monday and making me sick. Yeah, a lot of people are nervous because this is the first time we've had a normal playoff run, isn't it, with fans there? So it sort of feels like the first time. And there's a lot of we said before we came on, we're not really going to talk about the game that's potentially after this because there's no point. I mean, I've seen some people instantly after the Maidenhead game, talking about the Wrexham game. Forget that. I don't think that's going to happen. If we have that mentality, the players definitely won't have that mentality. And that's something Chickson talked about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think there was only the possibility of a Grimsby or Chesterfield swing. Did it matter to you which one of those we got? For me, it didn't.
Not really. I'd have preferred to maybe play Chesterfield because they seem to be on a bit of a downward spiral, don't they? And
yeah,
Paul Cook not being too happy with the press and stuff like that. Interesting stuff. But yeah, their form's not been great, has it, as well? So
no. And Chickson basically reiterated that the players do not care. They do not care.
Yeah.
So
it'd have just been good, I think, as well to have like that good feel in the air, because it's a bit of a rivalry.
And a few people have mentioned here 3 clean sheets in a row. So that's massive going in. I don't know how many times this season we've kept 3 clean sheets in a row. So if anyone could put that in, yeah, definitely. Alan, agree. 3 games, 1 win at a time. George, just form. You've talked about Chesterfield. Chesterfield's a little bit different because their form is absolutely slumped. It's nosedived. That's more than just taking form out the window. They are devoid of confidence. They held and played for a 0-0 draw against Woking just to scrape into the playoffs. They've been battered week in, week out. Like you said, Paul Cook's going against the media. Fans are against Paul Cook and the players at the minute. I think more so Paul Cook. Apart from Chesterfield, do you think form goes out the window for both Notts and Grimsby? Or do you think there's an element of a bit of both?
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely an element of a bit of both. 100%. Form's very important because it good form breeds confidence, and as quick as you can lose confidence, it's not easily forgotten, I don't think. So good performance, got the job done on Sunday against Maidenhead. Had some really good results and good performances as well. I'd say like the last 10 games, 10 games of the season, we've done relatively well, up there in the form table. So I definitely think it does have a bearing on a result like that, as much as you sort of feel like things like that go out the window in the playoffs. I think a lot of it comes down to preparation, how you get yourself psyched up, because there's players that can play week in, week out in league games and not be phased. But as soon as you come into a game where it's it's knockout, it's do or die, it can be very different for some players, and it is interesting to see which players like thrive on it and which players maybe don't thrive on it. So I think that can be like literally the fine margins in a game like this.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Notts have 2 losses in the last 12.
Yeah,
I think we forget that because there was a shocking loss, like you said, to Torquay 5-1, and there was a really poor loss to Aldershot 3-1.
Yeah,
if those were closer, like they were maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1, I think we look a lot differently. 2 losses in 12 is brilliant. I'm looking at Grimsby, 2 losses in 13. We're both coming in bang on form. Grimsby, they have a similar result. They lost 3-1 to Maidenhead in there. And their other loss was Solihull, which isn't really a surprising loss. Solihull are doing really, really well at the minute. But we're both banging form, so I think it's going to be a very, very good game. Very good game.
Yeah.
So we got the home tie, which gives us that extra little bit of an advantage, I'd like to hope. I think from what we saw against Dover, I think the fans are going to be on side for that. I think even if we go 1 down early on, I think the fans are really going to still be behind us. One of those where, you can see the goal and all of a sudden the fans stand up, get you going. I think we'll see that. But in terms of how dangerous Grimsby are going to be, I think I think it's going to be very different to any home game we've played in the past sort of month and a half. And do you think not playing a top side in the last 7 is going to be a shock, or do you think not so prepared for it?
I think no, I think they'd be prepared for it. I do. I think they enjoy playing the better teams, and you think of players like such as Chickson, who we've mentioned, Cameron, Slocum, Ruben. Players that will really, really enjoy playing in games like this, especially Ruben. Because he's got a bit of history with Grimsby.
Yeah. I am
He'd be well.
so glad. Sorry that Cameron is back. We
Yeah,
need that so much. When we go into our
yeah,
team in a second, well, in a couple of minutes, we'll talk about that. But I am so glad he's back.
yeah, yeah. Me too. Me too. Very important player.
Massive. More important than Brinley? I thought Brinley's been
Cameron?
excellent since I'm making it. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's not a massive difference, but I think Cameron's technical, and very good defensively in the air, all of those things. But more than anything, I feel like he sort of unites the squad very well. He's got a really good connection with the fans. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've managed him really well as well. He's had look. We thought he was coming back 3-4 weeks ago, and then it looked like he was only going to be back for the playoffs, as well as Brinley, who Brinley openly said he came back earlier than anyone anticipated. And we've said we think that's because he's like a model pro, isn't he? He's literally very, very good at keeping on top of everything. So I think the fact they both come in and they're both almost 100% match shot now, I would think. They played on a heavy pitch against Maidenhead. They've come out of it okay. They obviously got the home game in before that. Brinley got the whole 90 minutes. So I think it'll be good. And then there's almost a week ahead of the second fixture if we were to get there, really for both teams to get their recovery in. So how are we going to set up 4 or 5? This is for me. Obviously, the team is important. The team's going to be sort of consistent, whatever formation we think. For me, the 4 or 5 wins the game if we get it right. I'm not saying the 4 would work and the 5 wouldn't, or the 5, the other way around. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I'm saying if we get it right tactically, I think that's where we get the edge and win the game.
Okay.
I don't know what formation. What do you think?
I'm edging towards 4. I'm just reading the comments here, what Chris is saying, and I do sort of agree with him. But I would be more inclined maybe to put someone like Ed Francis in instead of I don't know, someone alongside Matty Palmer like Ed Francis, who's a bit more defensive minded. Will cover for the fullbacks like going forward more so than someone like Jim O'Brien would or Vincent or whoever. So
That's bold. He's not played a lot of football lately.
no, he hasn't. I know, but big fan of Francis.
Yeah, thinking about not playing a lot of football, I don't think we'll see Vincent even on the bench. He's not played enough football, which is really sad because I think every game he's played, bar the first half at Kings Lynn, which he was maybe scapegoated. I think he's been fantastic. So I just think you kind of got a similar player with Jim in there, haven't you? With his running, but maybe a bit more experience of someone that's going to bite a little bit more into a tackle. I think that's why he's favoured Jim O'Brien over Vincent, but still.
Yeah.
Should we go for our team?
Yeah, go on then.
Right, it has to be. We'll take our time with this one. It has to be Sam Slocum in goal for me. 100%. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Slocum in goal.
You're going 4 at the back?
Yeah, I think I am, yeah.
Tell me your 4.
Richardson, Brinley, Cameron, Chickson.
I'm going 5 at the back. I want to see Knox play a 5 at the back. Okay. I'm going... Oh, this is hard because I think Dion's been good as well. And Dion's a player you might want in the playoffs, you know what I mean? I'm going 5 at the back. I'm going Richardson at right wing back. I'm going a back 3 of Brinley on the right. Think of athleticism, Brinley and Richardson on that right-hand side. I'm going Cameron in the centre or Lacey. I don't know, possibly Cameron or Lacey, but I'm going Cameron and Lacey. And then I'm going Chickson at left wing back.
Okay.
That's what I'm going for. Chickson could play any of that defensive role. I think I saw enough from him attacking wise in one of the recent games. I can't remember who it was against, where he's putting crosses literally on a sixpence in the box. Perfect crosses that we take our chances, we score. I'm going 5 at the back. What's your midfield?
Midfield in front of the 4, I'm going to say Matty Palmer. And I'm going to say Jim O'Brien and change my mind. Not Ed Francis. Match sharpness might be a thing.
Like you're going to 4-2-3-1.
Yes.
I'm going Matty Palmer. Him and Cameron, the absolute standouts, without a doubt. I'm going Matty Palmer, and I'm going. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? I'm going Jim O'Brien.
Okay.
Matty Palmer and Jim O'Brien. I think you've got passing ability in there. You've got so much energy. You're going to have one main runner in that, aren't you? And that's Jim O'Brien. One main runner. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of running from Cameron, but there's going to be one man that does most of that running. Can he do it for a full 90? I don't know, but I'm going Palmer and O'Brien. What are you going in front of them?
Oh, this way gets difficult because this is where I want to say in the main, but he's obviously no. So I'm going to say Cal, Ruben, Eli.
Cal, starting Eli Sam.
I'm starting Eli Sam.
Bold move. I'm going in front of those. I'm going Cal on the right, obviously. His link-up play with Richardson's superb. And I'm going Ruben, sort of left, but also can drift into centre. And then are we both going Carlton up top?
Yes.
Interesting. You've gone for 4, I've gone for the 5. Why? You might sort of briefly touched on it. Why are you going for a 4?
I feel like we're a little bit more stable with a 4, sort of in the midfield. You sort of has more options arriving, I feel like, when we're coming out of defence. And I don't know, I just feel like we have more cover. I know that sounds daft, but I just do.
Great comment from Chris. Great comment. I go 5 because I think it's harder for teams to play against. I think it gives Richardson loads more freedom to get forward. Loads more in a 5. And I think if Richardson gets forward, you have Brilliant on the cover. So for me, 5 got to be for this game. Got to be for this game.
Okay.
We've got some really good scorers in our side, and I don't want to jinx this, so touch wood. Just touch wood, whatever you're doing. Anyone watching this, Notts have scored in something like 32 home competitive matches in a row.
Oh.
I said it twice.
You said that for.
I've said it 2 or 3 times this season, and it's not gone wrong yet. I mean, if it goes wrong, obviously you can blame George for that. But I think we'll score. I think it lies on how we defend. And I'm going to put something controversial out here. I do think Kyle Cameron has 1 lapse of concentration a game. Whether that's because he's driving forward, I don't know. I think if we can deal with that 1 lapse that we will have in the defence, whether it's Richardson getting caught forward, not from his own doing, but because we're attacking, or it's a 1 lapse from someone, I think we need to deal with 1 lapse. And I'd like to think we can get over the line. I think. Do you agree with me or not? I mean, at the start of the season, the first 4 or 5 games, Cameron made a fair few mistakes bending into the side. But since then, I think there is sort of one, possibly 2. If he's having a.
Yeah, no, I think the reality is, if you're going to be honest, you're going to get that players at this level. I think every player is the same. So yeah,
it'll be interesting. Right, we'll get our score predictions in. Nervous this one. I'm feeling nervous now talking about it. You've got the afternoon off work, haven't you?
Yeah, mentally prepare.
I'm unable to do that. Disgraceful. What time are you finishing? Just 12 o'clock?
12. Yeah, I need to get a haircut as well, and my barber can only do Monday afternoon, so it makes sense.
Meeting Will, aren't you?
Meeting Will, bright and early.
And then I'll meet you at about 6 o'clock.
Lovely.
So, hopefully we see Well, we'll see a lot of people. There'll be a lot of people there before the game. Hopefully, we see a lot of you there. So, let's go for the poll first, George.
The poll.
The poll, man. George.
Oh, interesting. Purely on enjoyment level, how would you rate the league this season out of 10? Less than 5 out of 10 is on 0%, which is interesting.
That's even you sometimes get some people just voting for the sake of it, but to have 0%.
Yeah, out of 60 votes as well. It's quite good. It's quite good. 6 or 7 out of 10, 48%. 8 or 9 out of 10, 45%. 10 out of 10, 7%.
Where did you vote?
6 or 7.
I voted 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Where in that 6 or 7 do you sit?
In between 6.5, 7. The higher end of 6.
I'm 8.5.
Okay.
I think there's been some cracking away days this season. If I think about purely on enjoyment levels, I think Grimsby. If you're thinking about home fixtures, we didn't make the Barnet away, but we saw Barnet at home. You had Wrexham at home. You had Solihull at home. I think it's been an enjoyable season. I think it's some of the best football we've played, and we spoke to Chickson about that, didn't we, in the interview? And he said it's fantastic to play that kind of football. He thinks it's the right way to play. So, For me, 8.5. I think it's been really, really good. Like Chris says, 10 out of 10 if it ends with promotion. But I think, bar a few games, Woking at home, Torquay away, Aldershot away, and Stockport away, bar 4 games, I think that have been disasters.
Yeah.
4 out of 44, is it? I don't think that's bad going.
I think it's a few more than that.
What absolute disasters?
Not disasters, but
that's what I'm saying. I was saying those are four disasters.
Not enjoyable to watch. Like
Halifax away, 5.
Not enjoyable to watch. Like a couple of games recently where I was just sat there when we scored, and it's just like we've got to be doing better. Like I can't remember. Was it Weymouth at home?
Can't be doing better, but we scored.
Yeah,
can't do better than that.
No, but it was like we were 1-0 down and we scored, and we'd had so many chances, and it was just like really like frustrating because it wasn't enjoyable because we were having so many chances, just not doing anything with it. It looked real like minimal movement, and I'll be honest, like there's been times this season where I've just been like, God.
Yeah.
But there's been plenty of times this season where I've been happy. So maybe 7 out of 10. Maybe 7 out of 10. I think 7 out of 10 is a fair level of enjoyment to say we finished 5th.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And we've had a few spankings this season as well.
Yeah. Any other fans in the chat from other teams? I know we had Stockport fan that's just left us. Any other fan, let us know your team and what your enjoyment level has been out of 10. So that'll be interesting to know as well. I don't know if they're still left watching this, but might be some Grimsby fans. Where would you rank it? Because you were bossing the league at the start of the season, and then Notts came to town. So all I'm saying. Score prediction. This is the most important score prediction of the season. This is. What do you think? Monday night, playoff eliminator, effectively a cup match, extra time penalties. Whilst we're saying ours, put yours in the chat. George, what's happening?
It's going to be. I think it's going to be really, really cagey.
I think it's going to be so nervy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it's going to literally be like 1-0.
Are you going 1-0?
I'm going 1-0. I don't know who to.
Really? You can't call it?
Can't call it.
If we lose, let's start with if we lose 1-0, what's the manner we lose in?
Just a horrible, cagey game. They nick one, and then they just defend for their lives for the rest of the game.
If we win 1-0, what's the manner we win in?
Pretty similar.
Horrible, cagey game. We score a goal and fight for our lives.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good game where both teams are going at it. I think it's going to be 1-0 as well. I'm predicting 1-0. Who scores for Notts in your win?
Ruben. Just enjoy scoring against them, doesn't he?
I think it's going to be a really good game, decided by pinball in the box that Kyle Wotton gets to. I think we're going to win 1-0, and then I think we're going to defend, not for our lives, but I think we're going to defend really well. I think it'll be a good atmosphere. I think Grimsby fans will bring a lot of noise. I think the way we're selling it out fans starved the playoffs. Look, what do we get? 5,000 against Chesterfield. Got to feel. Look how many were sold now. You've got to feel for the fans that didn't make it at Chesterfield last time when you had to sit seats apart. It wasn't the same feeling. Good atmosphere, but there's no way fans to bounce off. I think it's going to be rocking. I genuinely think it's going to be rocking on Monday night.
Can't put soon enough.
It can't. I go 1-0 and I go Kyle Wotton pinball in the box. I think that's how we're going to do it. And I think a Sam Slocum, just a solid game. Before we get your score predictions, we'll talk about this. Charlie said, what's happening Sunday? Really excited for Sunday, aren't we?
We are.
Really excited. We're going to be doing 7:30 Sunday night, just before the game, the day before the game. We're going to be doing a live phone-in. So we obviously can't have everyone. We've already had a few people messages about being on the phone-in. We're going to be doing it as we're going to be bringing fans on. You can be on the video with us live. You can have your camera on, you can have your camera off, whatever you want to do. But we're going to talk through the game. If you have a point you want to bring up, you might want to bring up who you think the starting lineup's going to be. Let us know what you want to talk about. Send us a message on Instagram or a direct message on Twitter. Let us know that you want to be on it. Obviously, we can't have everyone on because we've already got quite a few people, but it's going to be a live phone-in. Hopefully get so much interaction with fans. We're excited for that. So live phone-in Sunday night at 7:30 ahead of the game to hopefully get people excited. Thank you for reminding me, Charlie. So yeah, excited for that one. Should be really good. And if you don't want to miss it, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we are so close to 2,000 and those giveaway of the Notts County Talk mugs. Let's have a look. Ian says 2-1 Callum Wotton. What else have we got? This will be a good game. Chris has said 3-1 Roberts, 2 on Rodriguez. Chris 4-1 Notts. Then expectation overdrive all week for the semi-finals. Let's hope. 2-1 Ruben and Cal. So quite a few people think it's going to be a close game. It would not be. I couldn't take this. I couldn't take that. 5-4 on penalties. I could not take that. Honestly, I would not be. I don't think I'll be able to watch. Yeah. So Bob says he can feel it in his water. Penalties. I can't do penalties. I really, really can't. These are so close. 2-1 Notts. 2-2 Notts went on penalties. Jack says 1-1 Wotton extra time and then penalties 5-4. I can't do it. I can't do it. We've got 3-2 Notts. We've got 2-1 Grimsby. Don't do that to me. Here we go. 4-3 Chickson hat-trick with a Cameron Bullet header from a corner being missed. 4-3 Chickson hat-trick. He'll be proud of you, Callum. He would be proud. Massive thank you to everyone that's joined us. We've loved the interaction tonight. Massive numbers. Obviously anticipating a really good playoff game. If you're not already subscribed, please do leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Adam Chickson's interview is in the description below. So if you'd like to watch that or go back over the weekend, have a look, get in playoff fever. I promise you won't be disappointed. He's honest, he's open, and he gets me confident for the game. And obviously set your alarm to 7:30 Sunday for the phone-in. If you would like to be part of the phone-in, like I said, give us a message on Instagram, give us a message on Twitter. Thank you very much for watching, and let's hope we can get that victory on